Tate, Nelson, Victor, Vincent, Wong, Wadley, Bornia as well. Welcome on board. 4 more minutes to go. 4 minit lagi untuk tepat pukul 8 malam. Alright. Stay tuned. Enjoy the video. Welcome, Chitan. Welcome on board. It's good to see you. And we have another participant with a handphone number. Is it 93384559? Okay. Do change your name according to your calling name for today, so that it's easy for us to address you in a very friendly manner. Right? 3 minit lagi, 3 more minutes to go. If I pronounce your name wrongly. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board. 1 more minute to go, so I may start my talking now. Okay, so you're gonna hear me in the beginning, and you're gonna hear me back in the ending as well. So, yang tengah-tengah tu, Teacher Ken will be handling this today's topic. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, we'd like to thank you everyone to be on board here for today. Some of you are members, some of you are non-members as well. For those of you who are non-members, it's my honor to explain to you what is Reskill all about. So, in a very fundamentally speaking, Reskill is your daily e-learning buddy. We are the company, e-learning platform company, which provides a revolution in changing the way of learning. So, allow me to dive into a little bit more about what Reskill all about. So, Reskill is the app which provides a content learning and also live learning for our members and for non-members in selected topic as well. So I repeat again, Reskill app provides a content learning and also live learning for our members and for our non-members with a selected topic as well. So how easy this particular app is? This particular app is a mobile-friendly app which is only available in your mobile device. For a very simple reason, you can access the recorded version anywhere, anytime you want, and also the live session anytime, anywhere you want as well. Can you imagine while you're driving also you can listen to our live? That's how, to be honest, that's how canggih manggih our particular platform it is. Okay, and let me sidetrack a bit on the live session as well. So our live learning courses, we have 365 days non-stop live classes. Nobody have done it in Malaysia. In fact, I'm not sure whether any other countries have done it or not, but based on my understanding, nobody have done this yet. So we are the first company to come up with OnLIVE for 365 days covers on various topics with 1 year yearly subscription fee. Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it fantastic? Yes, you are the one going to witness us. You are the one going to be the pioneer with us together in our revolution. So without further delay or ado, today's topic is going to be young leaders rise, stepping up, and confidence in the workplace. And of course, Teacher Ken is a well-known teacher in this industry. I've gone into many industry, many talks, seminars, trainings, sharings, and he is the right person for the right topic, which is talk about young leaders. You may be wondering, what am I doing here? Am I young or not? Yes, of course, I'm young. I'm young in heart, young in soul as well. Again, I'm just 21 years old. So this session is going to run for 2 hours. So without further delay or ado, let me welcome Teacher Ken on board. Everyone, put your hands together and welcome him. And thumbs up to Teacher Ken.
Hello, hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Teacher Ken. Okay, all right. So now, Jagan, thank you very much for the introductions. As Jagan mentioned, I started out as a lawyer, but then I went into investment banking in one of the country's biggest investment banks. Very quickly, I made a record in Affin Investment Bank, now known as Affin Huang Capital. As the youngest vice president to ever be promoted to the position of vice president. So I have a lot of experience to go and share in this area, and it would be my absolute pleasure to go and share a thing or two today. All right, now, just forgive me. There's a bit of an echo. Is the Reskills team echoing me? Okay, I think it's a bit better now. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, now. So, all right, I'm going to take over the screen now. Thank you, Jagan. Okay, now, I am going to tell you a story, and this story today is called The Fisherman and the Businessman. Now, sorry for any echoes, all right? Sorry for any sorry for any technical difficulties, and most of all, I'm sorry if you have heard this story before. It might be a bit cliche, but I want you to pay close attention. All right, so now, the story of the fisherman and the businessman. So now, once upon a time, there was an American businessman who went to the Straits of Malacca, and at Port Dickson, he saw a very old fisherman fishing happily. So now, the American businessman bought a couple of fish from this fisherman, and he asked the fisherman, "What are you going to do for the rest of the day?" And the fisherman said, "You know what? It's already 4 o'clock. I think I'll go. I think I'll call it a day, and I'll go back and play with my children." So now, the American fisherman says, "Whoa, okay. So what are you going to do after you play with your children?" So then the fisherman says that, "Oh, you know what? I'll bring my son fishing, then I'll play with my daughter on the beach, then I'm going to have some wine with my wife, and then after that, I'm going to the city hall to go and play guitar and hang out with my homies, with my brothers, and with my wife." And so the American businessman was very angry. He said that, "Oh my goodness, you're in luck, okay? Because I am a very famous graduate from Harvard. Okay, I am a very prominent businessman. I can give you advice. The first thing you have to do is you have to work longer hours. You can't go off at 4 o'clock every day. Okay, when you work longer hours, very soon you'll be able to go and afford a larger fishing boat. And then with this larger fishing boat, you can have an entire army of smaller fishing boats working for you. In time, you will be able to go and get your own canning factory. This means that you can cut out the middleman and do all the canned fish food by yourself. You will be very rich, and then you can finally move out from this lousy town into the city where you can have a larger house." And then the fisherman says, okay, sounds great. Now, how long will all of this take? So the businessman says, "Well, with my guidance, maybe you can do it within 10 to 15 years. And the fisherman says, okay, so what then? What happens after 10 to 15 years? Then the businessman is like, "Oh, now you have hit the sweet spot. I can finally tell you what is the end game. You can go for an IPO. You can go and sell your company off to the public, and you will earn millions and millions." Right, so the fisherman is like, "Okay, sounds good. All right, then what happens?" And then the businessman says, "With that millions and millions, you can play with your children every day. You can bring them fishing. You can go and sip wine with your wife every day. And you can go and play guitar without caring anything about the world. You can go off at work at 4 p.m. All right, so now, ladies and gentlemen, what is the moral of this story? Okay, what does this have to do with leadership? Can I get 1 or 2 answers from the audience? You can type it in the chat or you can unmute yourself and go and tell me. 1 or 2 responses from the audience. What is the moral of this story? What does it have to do with leadership? 先苦后甜 communication. All right, so now let's take a look at Komi's answer. Thank you very much, Komi. Now, Komi says that, okay, you have to work really hard before you can reap the fruits of your labor. Yeah, that is definitely very true. Thank you, Komi. Okay, now let's take a look at what Jagan Rescue said. Now, Jagan says that, okay, you need to learn communication skills if you want to be a leader. All right, thank you very much to both of you. Okay, so now I'm just going to give it 5 more seconds to go and see if there's any more responses. What does this story, the fisherman and the businessman, teaches us about leadership in the workplace, leadership and confidence? All right, okay, so now time's up. Now, actually, ladies and gentlemen, I am sorry, I deceived you. This was a trick question. Okay, there is no moral to this story. This is just a story I like very much. Yes, Jagan again. This was a trick question. No, this is just a story I like very much. And this is a story I always start my seminars and webinars with. All right, this story just happens to be a story I like very much. I switch it up from time to time. Sometimes I tell a story about 2 Buddhist monks. Sometimes I tell a story about a fisherman and the businessman. Sometimes I tell a story about the Polish soldiers. But I want you guys to think back to what I said at the start of the story. Remember what I said? Sorry for all the technical difficulties. Right? And I said, sorry if you've heard this story before. And I said also, okay, sometimes I'll say, sorry for dragging you out before you've had your dinner. Now, what's the common point about all of these? Notice that I use the word sorry a lot. Okay, now, if there are any seasoned trainers in the group, if there are any young managers in the group, immediately, before teacher Kian even started his presentation, you would have a sinking feeling in your stomach. Correct or not, right? You were starting, you will have this feeling and you say, wow, this training session is really starting out badly. Now the question is why? Why do you get that feeling? It is because when we apologize unnecessarily, when we apologize for no good reason, we are immediately putting our audience or our team members or our children, if you're a parent, into an extremely negative frame of mind. When I say this, sorry if you've heard this story before, will you still pay full attention to the story anymore? No, you won't. Why? Because teacher can already tell me that I might have heard this story before or the story might be cliched. So now this is the first skill you have to learn as a leader. And that is, do not make unnecessary apologies. Now, for some reason or another, okay, as Asians, we were brought up to go and think that, oh, you know, it's polite if we say sorry. It is polite, it is expected, it is good manners if we apologize. Why? Because we are trying to empathize with the people we are leading. But the truth is, we cannot simply apologize as a leader. Now, this is not to say, okay, you guys after go out and go and say, well, teacher can tell me never to say sorry to my team members. No, that's absolutely not true. If we have done something wrong, then we have to lead by example and we must apologize. But if we have done nothing wrong, saying sorry before you have done anything at all is a surefire way for you to lose respect of your team members. So if there's one takeaway from this, that is, do not apologize unnecessarily. Only apologize when you're extremely sure that you've done something wrong. Otherwise, you are going to lose a lot of respect from your audience, from your team members, from your children in the future. Okay, so now I'm not going to teach this module in full today. This module is called Unnecessary Apologies. But, okay, I'm going to teach you 2 highly impactful skills today, which will make a huge difference in how you communicate and how you lead your team members in the office. These two skills will also build a lot of confidence. And if your human resource department is looking to promote internally, this will definitely put you on their radar. All right. Okay, so now let's move on. Now, the first thing I would like you guys to do today is to go and type this address in your web browser. It works the same if you are on Google or if you are on your phone. Okay, now in your phone, all you need to do is to go and pull out your web browser and type this address. You should reach a page like this. It is because today I want to go and play a Kahoot with you guys. Okay, if you guys have played a Kahoot before, you will know that it is very fun, it is very engaging. So let's start off our session by doing this. Thank you very much, Reskills. You can just click the link in the chat and then you will immediately go there. Thank you, thank you. Please click the link to join the game and then wait for the game pin. So now I'm going to go and get a game pin for all of us. All right, so now the game pin is 9045695. This will serve as a little icebreaker. And it will also go and give me an indication of what type of audience mix we have here. All right, so now I'll give you guys 2 minutes to go and join. Okay, in the meantime, do you have any questions for me? All right, so we'll start sharp at 8:15, 8:15 here. Okay, so now everyone can just go and look at the link in the chat box. You click it, then you will straight away go to the correct page. Then you go and enter this pin number, 9045695. 9045695. Okay, wow, the audience is very participative tonight. Very good. Okay, so now at the risk of sounding like a broken record, but because it is so important, I'm going to repeat it again. All right. As a leader looking to go and secure some leadership roles in the workplace, you mustn't apologize unnecessarily. Okay. Oi, Drew is here also. Welcome, Drew. All right, so now please go and copy this link, or you can just click the link in the chat box and it will bring you to a screen where they'll ask you for the game ID. And what you have to do is you have to go and enter this number, 9045695. We still have 1 more minute. So if you are interested to go and join, quickly join. Otherwise, you can go and laugh from the comfort of Zoom. However, you know, it is much better if you join, as, yep, you can learn a lot of things from this. Hello, Carl. Nice to have you. Ju, JB, Wei Kiat, Robbie. Okay, quite a number of participants. Noem, Wen, 88, Emmeline. Nice to meet you. Kiss. Hello, hi, Mr. Mugi. All right, now you can go and click this link over here, and it will go and bring you to the game pin page. Enter this game pin, 9045695. Good evening, Max. It's good to see you. Oh, quite a number of people joining, yeah? Yvonne is coming also. Oh, hi, Miss Mugi. Sorry about that. Miss Mugi, won't you join us? Hello, hi, Max. Glad to see you. Join us. 10 seconds to go. Yep. Okay, all right. So I guess we have to go and stop here. You can join in halfway if you want to. Okay, let's go. Okay, so now Kahoot at work. Okay, so this, we call it a leader's icebreaker. Okay, now this is just a warm-up. So don't worry about it. This is just a poll. There's no right or wrong. There's no time limit. Okay, now, very quick one. Are you ready? So this will get you familiarized with the Kahoot system. So now what happens is, okay, if you are ready, oh yes, go and click red color on your device on your laptop. If you're very sure that you'll win, you choose blue. If you're full of energy, right, like me, okay, you can go and choose yellow. If your friend is not in, if you are not ready yet, then go ahead and press green. And from this, we can see roughly how prepared the participants are. Oh, very good. Okay, so most of you are ready. Okay, and wow, we also have a couple of very confident people. Excellent. Okay, we're off to a great start for today's training session. All right, now let's take a look at this second poll. All right, warm up. Have you eaten? Okay, so now red is yes, I've eaten. Blue is no, I've not yet eaten. Yellow is I am so full. Now, if you're anything like me, you will always choose green. Yes, I've eaten, but I am still hungry. Okay, if you have nothing to do, go ahead and take a look. Oh, okay, all right. Okay, all right. For those of you who have not eaten, thank you very much for sacrificing your dinner to come and join us today. I will make sure that it is worth your while. All right, come, let's take a look at this next poll. Now, this is no longer this is no longer a warm-up. This is a real question already. Now, how much work experience do you have? Now, look at this picture. We are looking for someone aged 22 to 26 with 30 years of experience. Now, isn't that what they always say during interviews? Okay, so now if you're 1 to 5 years old, total working experience, go ahead and choose red. Blue is 6 to 10. Yellow is more than 10 years. And if you are currently looking for new opportunities, choose green. All right, okay, so now from this, we can see that most of the participants are within the 1 to 10 years old range, okay? Now, most of you are within 5 years. This is exactly the time where companies are looking to go and promote internally, or you feel that, okay, it is time for me to gain a bit more confidence. It's time for me to go and ask for a promotion. It's time for me to move up. Very good. Now, this is an excellent time for me to go and share a bit of experience I've had. Now, recently I was speaking to a psychologist. Not in Malaysia, but from Singapore. So now this guy, his job is to go and help companies hire the correct talent or to go and promote internal staff. And his job is to go and help them filter out which candidates are good, which staff are good for them to go and promote internally. And the number one insight he has shared with me is that employees are always looking for a father figure type of figure in their company. Very interesting, huh? Okay, that means, right, okay, employees are not looking for more money. No, okay, that is important, but that's not the most important. They are not looking for more learning. No, they are looking for someone in the company to be their daddy, to be their mommy, to be their daddy. Now, why is this? Okay, very interesting. It is because, all right, Singaporeans and Malaysian parents are no longer at home. Both Malaysian and Singaporean parents are now working. So this means that plenty of children and young adults grow up without a parental figure in their lives. So they go to the office hoping to go and find a mentor or a daddy type of figure. So now, if you are looking to be promoted, this is something very important. You need to be an idol or a role model or a mentor figure to the people you are leading. And the two skills I'm going to teach you today will bring you a long way towards achieving that. So listen carefully, yeah? Okay, all right. Now, as a potential leader, what is the biggest challenge you think you will face? Or you are currently already a leader, but you're struggling. Well, what is the biggest challenge do you think you will face? So now this question, I've given it 60 seconds to answer. We can think a bit about it. All right, so now red color is my team members lack motivation or drive. They are not motivated to do their work. They're very depressed. Now, blue is a very popular answer. Young leaders feel that their team members do not listen to me. Why? Because sometimes in the workplace, you will have team members who are more senior than you in age. They've been in the company for longer and you'll feel that they won't listen to you. All right, now yellow is, okay, they listen to me, they are motivated, but they are lousy. They lack the skills to do their job properly. Now green is others. So if you have anything else which is not here, you are very, very welcome to go and share it with me, and I will go and share some of my experience. Okay, so now most people choose others, but I also can see a number of you have chosen number 3. My team members do not listen to me. All right, so now others, let's talk about this. Can I have someone who answered others share what do you think is the biggest challenge you are currently facing or you might face? Can someone share? Why did you choose green? Others? And I'll go and share some insights on that. Otherwise, I'll double back after I talk about my team members do not listen to me. All right, so now let's talk a bit about my team members do not listen to me. Yeah? Okay, so now, if your team members are not listening to you, this is what we call a behavioral or disciplinary issue already. Now, team members, the main reason they do not listen to their leaders, okay, to their team leaders, it's not necessarily because they want to fight with you. It is not necessarily because they feel that you are a poor leader. And we cannot jump to conclusions to think that they do not respect us. A lot of the time, our team members do not listen to instructions is because they do not know how. You might have given them an instruction which is impossible for them to do with their current skill level or their current knowledge level. So let's not jump to conclusions that when team members don't listen to me, that means they are out to get me or they want to go and show me who's boss. No, not necessarily. And I'll go and cover that a bit later. Now, in the chat box, I see that Pei has said that my team members are different on each work day. I do not know how to motivate them. Okay, don't worry, Pei. I will go and share with you some of the skills which will help you motivate your team members. But if they are different in each work day, then it might be a deeper root issue. All right, so some of the things I say later on in the training may resonate with you. So if what I say makes a lot of sense to you, please remember to stop me and tell me, Teacher Ken, I would like to go and know more about this. All right, so now, Emmeline, the PIN number is 904-5695. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it in the chat. All right. Okay, so now I will admit that I'm a bit surprised. I thought that most people would be choosing blue, but there's quite a fair number who choose green also, yeah? Okay, so now let's move on to the next question. This is the last poll question. Think back of your previous leadership roles or think back to someone you have respected greatly in the workplace in the past. Now, did you enjoy leading? Now, maybe you were a leader in school, maybe you were the class monitor, or maybe you were the president of a club. Now, did you enjoy leading others? So now, if you enjoy leading, if you think that, yes, I'm a leader, choose red. If you are afraid of leading, no, I'm very afraid, but oh my goodness, HR keeps wanting to promote me. I don't think I am ready. So now, if you enjoy leading, but you think that you don't have enough communication or confidence skills, then go ahead and choose yellow. Now, if you are green, I live to lead. I just need the correct opportunities, then go ahead and choose green. All right, so look at this poor cat setting an alarm for 7 a.m. at 3 a.m. That's how most leaders are, yeah, Jagan? Okay, all right, so now I can see that that no one chose blue color. Everyone wants to lead. It's just they think that they do not have the skill set to lead. And that's fine, all right? So let's fix that today. All right, so now, yes, I can see that one person says that I live to lead. I'm a born leader. I just need that break. Okay, so now let's talk about the skills. Very good. All right, so now let's go back to the slides. Oops, sorry about that. You see, I'm apologizing unnecessarily. So do be careful here. All right, so now we got off on the wrong foot. I started with a lot of apologies, and that probably wasn't the greatest of introductions. So let me start again. My name is Teacher Kian, and I started out as a lawyer, but then I went into Affin Hwang Capital, and I had the distinction of becoming the youngest ever vice president in that particular company. In my many years of service there, I met a lot of very good leaders, very good seniors, but I've also met my fair share of lousy ones. So now, eventually, I left Affin Hwang Capital and I started in private equity. Over in private equity, again, I saw many capable leaders in startups, but the vast majority of those leaders were not very good. They had no idea how to lead a team. They were really good in their subject matter. For example, there were app developers who were very good in their technical skills and in web development, but they really demotivated their team. They did not know how to lead, right? So now, anyway, after that, I went into education and I became a headmaster in an education sector. But teaching children was not where I was meant to be. Eventually, I came up to become a leadership coach and a parenting and educators coach, and that's where I am today. So now I've helped hundreds and hundreds of people by now, and I'm very excited to go and share two very important skills with you this evening. Now, the first one is in this module called Establishing Discipline. I teach three main modules. The first one is, okay, building attitude and characters for your team members. Number two is establishing discipline. This is what we have to learn. These are the skills we have to learn so that our team members actually listen to us. They do the things we want them to do. And the third one is fostering skills, improving, upgrading their skills, their soft skills and the hard skills of your team members. I will teach you how to go and teach them so that they learn very quickly. All right, but today we are focusing on two very high impact skills which will make a big difference in your life today. One of them is establishing discipline, and the other one is building attitude and character. Now, under this establishing discipline module, I'm going to teach you a module called What Needs Doing. Now, what does what needs doing mean? What needs doing means that we have to guide our team members to do what is required as opposed to what not to do. Okay, now what does this mean? Okay, now when we were in school, right, our teacher will always go and say, you never do your homework again. Why are you so lazy? Now, when we go and say, why are you so lazy? We are telling our team members what not to do, but they do not know what we want them to do. So here's another example, okay? Why did you do that same mistake? I told you 1,000 times. So that one is telling people what not to do, but we didn't tell our team member what they need to do now to fix the mistake. So now the first hallmark of a very good leader is telling people what you want instead of complaining of what they're doing wrong. Okay, so now how do we go and tell people what is required? Let's take a look at this example. So now I even forgot to send out a valuation report. The client is mad. The client is very angry. So now we have to go and tell him what he needs to do. And this good instruction must be specific, concrete, sequential. Okay, sequential means step by step. If it is a very complicated thing, we cannot assume that our team members know how to do it. We have to tell them step by step. And finally, okay, it must be observable. Why? Okay, I'll discuss with you later. Now, why is this so important? Because if we give them a clear instruction, if we tell them what is it exactly we want them to do, we can see why they failed in the first place. Did they fail because they don't know how to do? That's what incompetence means. Okay, they don't know how to do what we want them to do. Did they fail because they were taking advantage of a lousy instruction? Or did they fail because they are trying to find trouble with you? Okay, so now essentially, whether you are a child or whether you are an adult or whether you are a very seasoned leader, the main three reasons why people behave negatively or don't listen to what you say is because, number one, they don't know how to do what you want them to do. Number two, the instruction you gave them is not very clear. Or number three, they are just trying to make life very hard for you. Now, if you give them a very clear what to do instruction, what needs doing instruction, then you will immediately be able to go and tell what is stopping them from achieving their work. You immediately know what is stopping them from doing their job well. All right, so now, this is the practical part of it. We have to use active instead of negative instructions. Now, as parents, as leaders, as team members in the workplace, we waste a lot of time giving people negative instructions. Now, what are negative instructions? Negative instructions doesn't mean demoralizing instructions. Negative instructions doesn't mean bad instructions, but we're always telling people what we don't want them to do. For example, we like to go and say, Yen Li, why are you like this? Or, okay, Yen, stop that. Or, do I have to do everything myself? This one is one which we love to go and say in the workplace, right? when we're very angry, okay, we always go and tell our team members, okay, never mind, you don't do it, I will go and do it myself. Then after that, we complain a lot. Do I have to do everything myself in this office? So now all of these are what we call negative instructions. Why? Because we are not telling the poor team member what they are supposed to do now. Now, this in the short run might be faster. If they make a mistake, if our team members make a mistake, or if our colleagues make a mistake, all right, it might be quicker for us to go and fix it ourselves, but it is not good for you. It is not good for them. Why? Because they're not learning. And number two, it eats into your time. Maybe we should consider investing some time to teach them what they have to do or what you want them to do instead of complaining. So now, okay, when we give a negative instruction like this, our team members have to guess what we want. Like for example, okay, if our team members screwed up, if they made the client very angry, and then we go and tell them stop that. Okay, then they have to guess, oh, hey, boss asked me to stop that. What does it mean? Or if we go and ask our team member, why are you always like this? I told you 1,000 times already. Then they have to go and guess, okay, so now what does boss want me to do? Or what does teacher Ken want me to do? All right, so now instead, we have to go and tell them what we want them to do. We lead by examples because we are leaders. So now a specific what to do instruction would be, okay, now we have to focus on what actions they have to go and take. Now, a very good example would be, okay, for example, let's say Ivan, in the previous example, he didn't finish his valuation report and he forgot to go and give it to the client, or he has not given it to the client. So now we have to give him an instruction. Instead of saying, why are you like this? Instead of saying, do I have to do everything myself? We go and tell him, number one, Ivan, call the client now and tell him that you are late. Number two, sit down and complete the report. Now, sometimes, okay, Ivan doesn't know how to do it. So we have to go and give him that instruction. We have to go and say, okay, Ivan, if you don't know how to do it, go and get Eric to help you. Or better still, go and say, Eric, come here, help Ivan out with section 1 and section 3 because you have done it before. Okay, now sometimes it is extremely complex, a task is extremely complex, then we have to break it down step by step for someone, especially if they are new to the company. All right, later on, I'll go and explain something to you. That one is called incompetence. It is very important not to go and scold someone if they do not know how to do it. If someone does not know how to do something, it is not correct for us as leaders to scold them because we're expecting something impossible from them. And finally, perhaps most importantly, whatever task we give them to do must be observable. Apa ini observable? Observable means the instruction must have some form of KPI so that they will do it. What does this mean? Okay, now team members will cooperate the most when we are watching. When they know that we can see them, then they'll go and do it properly. If you go and give them a vague instruction like, okay, go finish the report, but we don't give them a KPI. We don't tell them, okay, finish the report, call the client, then come back to me and tell me that you have done it. Then they won't do it properly. They are less cooperative. So very important, whatever instruction you go and give a problematic team member, it must be observable. They must know that you are watching them. Okay, but very importantly also, our instructions should be specific and concrete. Tell them what you want them to do instead of complaining. All right, this is what many people in the office do. They are always complaining. They always, this is the 1,000th time. Why are you always like this? And that is not helpful. That is not helpful. All right. Okay, so now I have gotten some comments in the chat box. Let's take a look at it. How to overcome challenges like both parties have different point of view and wants to stand out of it. Does senior overrule on this matter? Some listen to reply, not listen to understand. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so now that one is more of a communication skill. So now, later on, I will deal with this exact scenario. If the team member is not listening to you or has failed to do what you want him to do, part of the things we can do is to go and give them an instruction. But if they do not agree with you, then what can we do? Then it is time to go and sit down to have an exchange of ideas. But ultimately, all right, ultimately, you should assert yourself because you are the leader and you are the one who is accountable for any decisions which are made. All right, so now we will look at the specific scenario later. All right, so now let's do a bit of rewriting because the words we use are very important. So now for each scenario, we have to discuss whether instruction is specific, concrete, sequential, and observable enough. We have to write a what needs doing statement which can correct this negative behavior. Okay, so now this is a very typical one. Your team member Ivan is late for work again. So your subordinate is late for work again. So now we say, why are you always late? Now, is this a good instruction or not? No. This is not a good instruction. Why? Because it is, number one, very vague. Number two, you're complaining. Number three, they will guess what you want. Okay? Wow, does boss want me to come in at 6 o'clock? Does boss want me to come in at 5:30? All right. Now, what I would answer, how I would say this is, Ivan, do not need to go and point out that he's late. He knows already. So, Ivan, be in by 9 a.m. tomorrow. Okay? I will have a talk with HR if this continues. Okay, so now, over here, this is very good. Why? Because you're telling him exactly what you expect. And this is very observable. Remember, one of our instructions must be observable. If he's not in by 9 a.m. tomorrow, you can see it either because you're in the office or from the scan-in log. Okay, and now you are giving him a correction. If this negative behavior continues, I'm going to have a talk with HR about this. All right. So now, why is correction so important? I'm going to spend a bit of time to go and explain this. Yeah. Okay. Let me go and think. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing this screen. I'm going to use the whiteboard over here. Okay. If you guys can't see, you must correct me. Okay. You must let me know. Okay. So now, basically, okay, in ABA theory, well, it's not a theory anymore. Okay, it's pretty much a very established law by now. Okay, now in ABA theory, ABA stands for Applied Behavioral. Okay, analysis. Sorry, okay, my spelling can get a bit jumbled sometimes. Now, as I've mentioned, applied behavioral analysis. This is no longer a theory. This is a very long-standing proven technique. There are two things we can do with regard to people's behaviors. The first one is called reinforcement. And the second one is called correction. Or, as the psychologists love to go and call it, punishment. Wow, psychologists, they really like this word punishment. Okay, so now, there are two types of reinforcement. There are two types of correction. The first type of reinforcement is something we call positive reinforcement, and there's also negative reinforcement. And on the correction side, we have positive correction, positive punishment, or negative punishment. Okay, now let me tell you straight off the bat, okay, guys? Positive reinforcement doesn't mean good. Negative doesn't mean bad. Positive means adding something. Adding something. Okay, positive doesn't mean good. Positive means adding something. Now, negative doesn't mean bad. Negative means taking away something. Okay, so now when do we use reinforcement and when do we use punishment? We use reinforcement when we want our team members to repeat good actions. When we want them to go and repeat a good action, we give them a reinforcement. Now, when do we use a punishment? Okay, so now I'm going to write this in red, okay? When we want a team member to stop a bad action. Okay, when we want a team member to stop a bad action, we have to go and give them a punishment when they do something bad. So they will terkena, they will terasa sakit, and they'll stop doing it. On the other hand, when our team members have done something good, let's say the client praised him, or let's say he has finished all his work and helped other people some more, we want him to go and repeat it in the future. This is the time where we go and give a reinforcement. So now, a positive reinforcement means we're adding something to him. We're giving something to him. So now this would be, okay, let me go and use another color here. Okay, now when Yen Li does her work well, okay, give her a sweet. Give her a sweet. Bagi dia gula-gula. Okay. Then she'll feel very happy and then she'll go and do it again. All right. So this is what we call positive reinforcement. So in addition to sweets, we can go and give her praise. Okay. We can give her acknowledgement. We can go and give her a raise. We can go and give her a promotion. So now all these things will serve to go and make her a better worker in the future. She will think that, oh, last time when I did my work correctly, teacher Ken gave me a sweet. Okay, so now Yan Li says that ice cream is more effective. Okay, so we give her an ice cream. Okay. What's ice cream in Malay? Okay, ice cream. No, it's not ice cream. Okay, anyway, all right. So now, what is a positive punishment? When Yan Li is naughty, is late for work again. Okay, we scold her. Okay, so now, other positive punishments means we go and give her something. We give her something which she don't like. Okay, so that she will stop being late. Like for example, will be beating law. Okay, not encourage. Don't beat your don't beat your team members. Please don't beat anyone. Okay, all right. So other things will be more work. Okay, warning letters, harsh, what's it called? Interventions. Okay, correction. All of this. Okay, so now all these are ways to discourage Yan Li from coming to work late again. So next time when Yan Li is deciding whether or not I should be late for work, she'll go and think, wow, last time when I was late for work, this teacher can go and scold me. So this time I don't want to be late for work already. So this is what we call a positive punishment. Okay, so now what is a negative punishment? A negative punishment is when Yan Li is late for work. Okay, we take away something. We take away what? Okay, we take away no lunch hour lah. Wow, very good jump. Okay, very cruel when we go and take away people's lunch hour. Or cannot leave work early lah. So we're taking away things from her. Or okay, no promotion lah, or demotion even. Okay, or yeah. So all these are ways we can negative corrections we can do to make sure that Yan Li acts properly from now on, taking away something. All right. Okay, so now what is negative reinforcement? Negative reinforcement doesn't mean bad reinforcement. Okay, it means that we take away a restriction. So now when Yan Li does her work well, okay, take away a restriction. For example, okay, she does her work so well, we give her a 2-hour lunch break instead of 1 hour. All right. Or we take away, monitor her less. We supervise her less. We give her more trust. All right. So now these are some of the ways which we can go and do this for. These are some of the examples. Okay, so now this is extremely important. Always remember your ABA theory. If you want team members to repeat something, you have to give them a reinforcement. If you want team members to stop doing something, you have to give them a correction or a punishment. All right. Now, whether it is more effective, a lot of people ask me, is positive punishment or negative punishment more effective? Is positive reinforcement or negative reinforcement more effective? I will tell you this. The older, the more senior your team member, the more effective this becomes. The younger your team member, the more effective this becomes. So now, for team members who are just entering the workplace, you will realize that these are super duper effective. Okay, now, if your team member has a lot of experience, now these are more effective, especially these two. Nowadays, a lot of people want praise and acknowledgement. Raise and promotions are nice, but they're looking for this one. They want someone to recognize their work. They want someone to go and praise them. Wow, you're doing very well in front of other people. Okay, this is why award ceremonies, incentive trips, all these are very important. All right. Okay, now, if you tell a senior member, you cannot leave work early until you finish all your work, they are not going to be scared of you. but this one is very scary to them. Okay. So got it? All right. The more junior your team member, this one is more powerful. The more senior your team member, these are more powerful. All right. So now, okay, you guys may want to go and take a screenshot of this before I move on, because this is extremely important. Okay, so now, so far, this is a very heavy thing. Does anyone have any questions on this or not? Oh, by the way, okay, this doesn't just work in the workplace, okay? If you have children or if you are a community leader, this works for all types of people, from children all the way to adults. So know your reinforcement and know your punishment. Okay, now maybe I better go and use different language to go and explain this a bit. Reinforcement 是加强, okay? Or ke pengukuhan. In Malay, we call it pengukuhan. Pengukuhan. If we want our team members to go and do something again, we give them one of these. Now, correction, in Chinese, it's called 惩罚. In Malay, it is called hukuman. All right, so if we want our team members to stop acting up, we give them one of these, and which one you give depends on how senior they are. All right. Hey, don't beat, please don't beat people. Okay, don't go and say, teacher can go and list it down beating over here, so this is something we can do in the workplace. No, please don't, okay? All right, great. Now, if there are no questions, we're going back to the main slides. Okay, so now over here, we have answered the first one already. So now let's take a look at this second one. Okay, Dentanai is in Tamil. Now, Ivan is supposed to hand up his report by today, but he has not given it to you for review. Okay, so now this is how a lot of leaders in the workplace, especially inexperienced ones, they will say, Ivan, why are you always late with your work? Now, this is not very good. Why? Because you are not telling him what he's supposed to do. And he doesn't even know how to answer this, because if he can answer it, that means that he wouldn't be late in the first place now, right? Okay, so now what happens is your relationship will sour. The trust will start to lose, because Ivan will think, how do you want me to answer? What do you want me to do? All right, it's obvious I screwed up. I know I screwed up. What do you want me to do about it? All right, and so now we have to go and tell him what he has to do about it. But remember, okay, number one, it must be observable. Number two, it must be specific and concrete. Okay, he needs to know the steps, what he needs to do now. Okay, so now what I would say to Ivan is, okay, Ivan, take a seat. All right, okay, now tell me what went wrong. All right, so now I give him a chance to go and explain what happened. So now this is very sequential. We're telling him what to do. Tell me what went wrong. All right, okay. Do you have a plan to fix it? Do you have a plan to fix it? So if he has a plan, listen to him. He will say that, yes, I just need more time. Give me until 4 o'clock. And then you think whether or not it's reasonable. If it's reasonable, you say, okay, let's follow your plan. Now, if he doesn't have a plan, then what can we say? If he doesn't have a plan, then we go ahead and say that, okay, get Eric to help you with section 3. I want to see, okay, I would like, or if you want to be a bit gentler, okay, I would like to review the report by Thursday, 12 p.m. Thank you. Okay, so now this is very clear. He knows exactly what he has to do. So instead of complaining like a little crybaby, instead of giving him an impossible task, instead of asking him a question which he knows very well he cannot answer, we tell him what we want him to do. So now I'm going to repeat, sequential. Ivan, take a seat. Tell me what went wrong, because we're respecting his point of view. All right. Do you have a plan to fix it? And you will be surprised, okay? When you ask people, do you have a plan to fix it? A vast majority of the time, they have a plan. They have a plan. Or when you go and ask them, do you have a plan to fix it? Then you're forcing them to upgrade their thinking. Then they'll start to have an engineering mentality, and they'll start to go and think of solutions instead of always blaming other people or asking questions like you just did. Okay, so now, if they don't have a plan to do it, then as a leader, your role is to lead, and you tell him exactly what you would like to see. Get Eric to help you at section 3. I would like to review the report by Thursday, 12 p.m. Thank you. So now this keeps him honest. This keeps him accountable. All right. So now this is how I will go and say it. And this is how I will build relationship with my team members. Give them direction. Tell them what you want them to do instead of complaining all the time. All right. Now take a screenshot of this if you want to. And I'm going on to the next page already. Okay. 5 seconds. Okay, thank you, Victor Vincent, for your kind comment. All right, now let's move on. Okay, so now let's do 2 more rewriting exercises. Okay, so now let's take a look at this very real scenario. Your team member refuses to wear a mask at work, even though he was told many times. You say, Ivan, I told you a million times. You stupid. Wow, okay, this one very, very king. Okay, a lot of bosses like to go and say this in the office, and I don't think that it's very good for morale, and I don't think that you're telling him to do what you want him to do. Okay, so now, how would I say it? Does anyone want to try? If someone would like to try, go ahead and type it in the chat box. Otherwise, I'm going to give an example of how I would go and say this. So remember, okay, we have to go and tell them specifically what we want them to do. Number 2, if they don't know, then we have to teach them. If we suspect they don't know lah, okay? And number 3, okay, it has to be sequential. That means if it is a very complicated task, we have to go and teach them step by step. Number 4, we need to give them instruction where we can see whether or not they did it. If we can't see whether or not they did it, if we can't check, then they won't do it. It's always like that. Okay, so now I will go and give my suggested answer. Over here, this is how I will go and tell a team member or one of my employees or one of my coaches. I will go and say, Ivan, please take a seat. Okay, is there a reason you're not wearing your mask? Or, okay, I can also say this. Did you forget to wear your mask? Or are you forgetting to wear something? Are you forgetting to wear something? Now, at this point, most people will go and say, oh yeah, I forgot to wear my mask, and then they go and wear it. Most people will. Okay, and this will end here already. See, you do not need to go and scold him. You do not need to go and become angry. He already knows what he did wrong, and then he'll go and do it. And then he'll go and fix it. But if he goes around and says that, no, I do not know what am I supposed to do, then you have to go and tell him exactly what you want him to do. You will have to go and say, go to Eric and borrow a mask from him. Put on the mask and don't take it off until the end, until you go home. Okay? If this continues, I will have to issue you a warning. Because SOPs are important. All right? Okay, so now let's take a look at this. Oops. Let's take a look at this. So now over here, this first part is very simple, telling him what to do, and we're going to put it a sequence. Okay, now over here, this back part, we are telling him what we are going to do to him if he doesn't listen. Now, this one at the back here, this one is telling him why the company needs him to go and wear a mask. You can go on and go and say that, okay, government is going to give us a hefty fine, a very heavy fine if we do not follow the SOPs. Do you want to go and pay half of it? All right, so now we are telling him how this will benefit him. Okay, so now this is how I would answer it. Okay, obviously, all right, obviously, there are ways to go and make it more gentle, but I'm giving you a more firmer and more stricter way. Okay, hopefully, as I've mentioned, this is enough to go and remedy most bad behavior already. All right, so now let's take a look at this one. Your team members are arguing because they have different opinions. This one is what most bosses will say. Most bad bosses will say, why are you fighting over such a small matter? Stop complaining and go back to work. Okay, so now, then the team members will be, hey, what do you want me to do? I mean, the matter is still unresolved. We are still angry at each other, right? So now, how? What do you want me to do? So now, how I would answer this, or rather, how I would go and tell my team members is, okay, Ivan, Eric, take a seat. All right, please take a seat. Okay. I would like Ivan to speak first without interruptions. Eric, you will have a chance to respond later. All right, so now this is what I would do. I, as a leader, I need to demonstrate to them that I am not angry. Because if I go and laukai at this, if I go and throw a tantrum like this, if I merajuk like this, why are you fighting over such a small matter? Stop complaining. This is what they will learn to do in the future. This is how they will learn to go and deal with problems in the future. They will go and say, why are you so stressed about something which is so small? This is just a small matter only. Why you come and disturb me? Right? That's how they will learn to deal with problems in the future because they're learning from their leader. Okay, here's another thing very important, okay? How we treat our employees is what they will learn. Our employees, our team members, they are in Malay, okay? They are cerminan mereka punya, they are the cerminan of their leaders. Our children, our team members, the people we guide, they are all reflections of ourselves. How we deal with problems, how we handle issues is how they will learn to go and deal with problems. So if you're always scolding them, guess what? They're going to scold the client also. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Right? If you're always very emotional, then they will be very emotional when they're talking to customers. Why? Because they learn it from their boss, ma. Very simple. Okay, so now after they have spoken, then I will go and say, all right. Okay, sounds to me like a misunderstanding. Ivan, are you saying that ... Okay, so you're going to repeat what you think Ivan is saying. And then you're going to say, Eric, is this what you're saying? Then you're going to repeat ... Okay? Okay, all right. All right, listen closely. This is what I want you to do. Okay? Then you go and give them, you tell them what you want them to do. Both of you fix the valuation report together. Then call the client and apologize. Tell him what you do to fix the mistake. So now this is how I would resolve this conflict in the workplace. But most importantly, you have to go and lead by example. You have to go and show them that you are trustable, you're trustworthy, you are calm, you are steady, you're not angry. Because remember, if you react in anger, this is how they will learn to react when they become bosses. This is how they will learn to react when they have a complaint. When they're not happy, then they become angry instead of solving problems. All right, so now take a picture of this before I move on. Okay, now, so this is pretty important now over here, okay? Give them a chance, not only give them a chance to go and speak, to go and voice their opinions, because they're adults already, they're not children already. Give them a chance to go and say what they want to say. And very importantly, you build a lot of trust if you repeat what people are saying. Your team members will love you if you repeat what they're saying, is because they feel like you are on their side. Oh, okay. By the way, okay, I'm going to teach you guys a magic.
Okay, he's smart.
Sorry, yes. Did someone have a question? Okay, all right. So now, if you have a question, let me know, yeah, okay? Otherwise, I'm going to assume that all right. Okay, now, here is a very important phrase, a very magical phrase, which I'm going to teach you guys. It's called, I'm always on your side. So now, whenever you get into an argument with your team members, or if people are getting angry, you can always say this, I'm always on your side, to go and assure them that no matter what, you're always looking out for them. Okay, this will de-escalate, this will calm everyone down very quickly. All right. Okay, so now I'm going to give you guys 5 seconds. Any questions before we move on? I think we're going to do another Kahoot after this already.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi, I want to ask one question.
Of course.
So you said I'm always on your side, right? Is it that mean the phrase we only give to motivate them, or really we are always their side in every aspect of thing, you know what I mean?
Hey, as a leader, you better really be always on their side. Okay, so now what your question is, right? I think Miss Chick Balkis, what you're trying to ask is, okay, let's say senior management, wants A, but your team members want B, right? So this is what you're asking. So now, do you go and tell them I'm always on your side? Well, yes, of course you do. Now, there are many, many ways to go and demonstrate to be on their side. Your job over here is to try your best to go and to recommend to senior management what your team members want. So when you do that, you are on their side.
Okay.
All right. So you go and tell them, trust me, I am on your side. I will not twist your words. I will tell you what you think, and I will try my best. You have my assurance that I will try my best to get senior management to see things your way.
Okay, understood.
You're not lying, okay? You're not just saying things for the sake of saying. No, be a sincere, be a good leader. Do the things you say you'll do.
Okay.
This is your question, right, Chick Balkis? Do you
Yes,
just lie to them, or do you really go and do it? Well, really go and do it. Really do it. Go and tell them that I will try my best to go and tell senior management what you feel, what you think. I am always on your side. You can trust me in that. Don't just say it for fun, because that will really damage the relationship. Okay?
Yeah, understood. Okay, thank you.
Now, here's another question. Okay, here's another question. Now, I'm going to clear this screen. If you want me to go and leave the writing on, you better tell me now. I'm going to clear it in 3 seconds. Okay. All right, I'm going to clear it. Now, what happens? Okay, should you lie to your team members? Should you lie to your team members? Okay, now, not necessarily it's going to be a bad lie, right? Sometimes you have to go and tell a white lie. Right? Sometimes you have to go and tell a white lie. Are those okay? Now, to me, my leadership style is that I never lie. If you ask people I've worked with, right, they can go and tell you that Teacher Kian is as honest as they get already. Teacher Kian never lies. I also don't tell white lies. I also don't tell black lies. Now, to me, there's only one situation where you can lie to your team members. The only situation I lie to my team members is if something horrible has happened and they need the strength. Something horrible has happened and they need the strength, they need the direction, they need the leadership. So now, for example, the company has screwed up and we have lost a big client. The company is screwed up and has lost a big client. So now, everyone will be looking to you for leadership now. Everyone will be looking to you to go and say a few words. Now, you might feel horrible. And let's say your team members come up and go and say, Teacher Kian, are you okay? We lost a big client. So this is the only situation I lie. I will say that, don't worry, we will get him back, even though I feel that we cannot. Now, don't forget, when people are emotional, they tend to go and think very negative. When we are emotional, we tend to think very negative. And so this is like a lie. I will go and tell them that, yes, we can get this client back, or don't worry, there are plenty of fish in the sea. We can get a better client. And in that moment, it might sound like a lie to myself. But, okay, as a leader, we have to go and display some strength, direction, and leadership. So that's the only situation I will ever lie to my team members. Even if I don't feel confident that we can get such a good client again, or even if I don't feel confident that we can get him back, we still need to go and show that strength. Okay. Now, later on, I'll talk a bit about white lies in the next skill which I'm going to teach you. But essentially, for me, my personal leadership skill is I avoid lies because there are a lot of things for me to worry about already in business. I do not want to worry about tripping up on my own lies to the people who are closest to me. Do you know what am I saying? Right? There's 1,000,001 things to worry about in business already. I don't want to go and remember who I lied to, who I never lied to, what lie do I say? Forget it lah. Okay. My leadership, even if Even if I'm a bit more direct, even if I'm a bit more direct, even if I'm a bit more harsh, okay, it's better. I will attract the correct people to my organization. All right, so now the 3 types of negative behavior I spoke a bit. Okay, generally speaking, people don't listen to you only because of 3 reasons. Number 1, they don't know how. Okay, and this is when we go and tell them, hey, stop complaining lah. Stop complaining. Why you guys always complaining? Don't you guys know that this workplace is very good? Now, they don't listen to you. Why? Because they don't know how to stop complaining ma. You don't tell them what they need to do. Okay, so now another example of when they don't listen to you is when you give them an unclear instruction and they want to go and abuse it. They're very naughty, they're very guailan. They want to go and play the fool. Okay, so now for example, okay, a very good example is when you go and tell them, give it to me by next week. So they wait until next Sunday only give you lah, because you never go and tell them a specific day, a specific time. So they wait until the very last second, weekend, then they only go and give it to you. It's still within next week, ma. Okay, all right. So now the third reason, and this is the dangerous one, is when they don't want to listen to you. They're trying to test you, or they're coping with anger, frustration, and some other emotion. Maybe the client scold them, maybe their wife scold them, maybe their husband scold them, maybe their argument with their mother. They're very angry and they purposely don't listen to you. So now, how we deal with each one of this is very different. Now, listen very closely. Yeah? If they do not listen to you because they don't know how, then you cannot scold them. You must teach and guide them. That's your role as a leader. It's not to go and make sure that everything is running smoothly. No, you must teach and guide them if they don't know how to go and do something. Because if you punish someone for something they don't know how to do, if you punish someone for something which is impossible for them to do, you are going to harm the relationship. All right, now, if they are taking advantage of an unclear instruction, you have to go and learn from your mistakes as a leader. And next time you give them a specific KPI, a specific deadline, give it to me by 12 p.m. on Thursday. Now, what if you have confirmed that they are being naughty for the sake of being naughty? Then remember the ABA theory, you have to go and give them a clear and immediate punishment. It doesn't have to be a big punishment. It can be a scolding. It can be a harsh speaking to. It can be giving them more work, or you can go and give them more duties, but you make sure that they know that they cannot be defiant to you because, all right, the company has an organizational structure. There are better ways for them to voice their disagreement. This place, the office, is not a place for them to go and throw their tantrums if they had a bad day at home, for example. All right, there are healthy ways for them to talk to you, not by purposely showing you, oh, you can't control me. Now, if you do not give them a punishment, then they will continue to be defiant to you, and this will definitely harm the relationship. Okay, so now, remember, okay, when teacher Ken says, okay, you need to go and give them a punishment, it doesn't mean that, oh, straight away you're going to write a warning letter lah, or you straight away go and tell HR lah. Okay, no, that's not what I mean, okay? But, okay, you have to go and give them at least a speaking tool. You need to ask them, come into my office, explain yourself. What was that? Are you dealing with some emotion? I understand if you're dealing with some form of emotion at home or something, but this is not the correct place to do it. You cannot speak to me like this. You better stop it. And that is enough already, because scolding is also a type of punishment. All right. Or for example, wow, okay, he has done the same wrong thing and the client is very angry already. And he doesn't want to listen to you. Your team member doesn't want to listen to you, continues making the client angry and angrier. So then we still have to go and issue a punishment. We still have to go and say, all right, stay until, come in on the weekend and go and fix this mistake. I will be here with you. So you lead by example if you can lah. Or at least you go and say, hand it to me on Saturday. Don't worry, I'm always on your side. I will review it for you, but you have to do it. All right, understand? So now a good what needs doing instruction helps show you if a team member is defiant. Then you have to act accordingly. You have to issue a punishment. Okay, now, do you need to go and take a screenshot of this? If you don't need, then I'm moving on already. Okay, so now, let's imagine this scenario. Let's imagine a team member, Ivan, has angered a client by accidentally offending him. Okay, so now let's say this client is very petty lah, okay? This client is a Tan Sri, but then Ivan accidentally called him Datuk. Okay, very typical example. Ivan has accidentally called a Tan Sri Datuk. So now, Tan Sri is super angry. Tan Sri goes and says, how can you go and call me Datuk? I'm very angry. I don't want to go and do business with your firm anymore. So now, what do we tell Ivan to do? Now, if we go and tell Ivan you're an idiot, okay, is that effective or not? No, it's not effective, because if he is incompetent, then we'll be like, okay, what do you want me to do? All right, if he is Kuai Lan, then if he's naughty, then he'll be thinking, okay, so I don't be an idiot lah, but I be someone rude instead lah. Okay, if he's defiant, then he won't listen to you, and then the client is still angry. So nothing good comes out from this. Nothing good comes out from this. Now let's take a look at this one. Ivan apologized to the client. Now this is a bit better. This is much better, right? At least you're telling him what to do. But if he doesn't know how to apologize to the client, then it's also a problem, right? Okay, maybe you screw it up even further. So actually you have to go and see whether or not he knows how to do it. Now, taking advantage, maybe you go and call the client and you apologize for something else. Like, for example, this is a real life example which happened in my bank. Okay. Datuk, I'm sorry because you were too sensitive. This is apologizing, right? But is this apologizing correctly or not? Hell no. I'm sorry because you were too sensitive. Wow, this is going to get you into huge problems with the Tan Sri. But because your instruction is not clear, all he heard was, you want me to say sorry, I'll go and say sorry. Okay lah. But you didn't tell me what am I supposed to say sorry for, ma. You never teach me what am I supposed to say, ma. So now this one is also partially defiance. This guy in the bank, he was trying to go and show his boss that you cannot control me. I am upset also. All right, so now let's take a look at how I would go and do this. Okay, now Ivan, I want you to call the client right now and apologize for what you said. Then I want you to tell him what you will do to fix it. So now over here, I like this very much. Why? Because this is very clear. This is very sequential. There is no way he can say that I don't know how to do it. There's no ambiguity. You are telling him exactly what you want him to do. So step by step, call the client right now. Apologize for what you did. Okay, so apologize for calling him Datuk. Then I want you to tell him what you will do to fix it. Okay, so go and say, sorry, Tan Sri, I will try my best to, I will ensure I will call you by your correct title, and I will ensure that you get all the respect you deserve. It was an honest mistake. Please forgive me. So maybe you want to go and tell him all those words also. Now, in this situation, he cannot say he don't know. He cannot say that, okay, you were not clear, so I'll go and say whatever. No, you're telling him exactly what he has to do. And he cannot be defiant. Because you've given him such a clear instruction already. If he's defiant, then you straight away go and punish him already. If he still doesn't want to go and do what he's supposed to do, you can straight away punish him already. All right. Okay, so now let's move on. All right, now let's do a Kahoot to go and revise a bit what we learned just now. Okay, so let's do this. All right, so now, if you're new to this, look at the chat. Oops, let's see here. Okay, look at the chat and go and click that link. Then you straight away go and bring you to the Kahoot page already. Then you go and enter this PIN number. Then I'll see your name on screen. So everyone, please go to the chat, the Zoom chat, and go and click that link. And then go and enter in this PIN number. The PIN number is 8184652. Okay, a lot of people are getting in. Let's give it a couple more minutes, 2 more minutes. Then let's start. Okay. Everyone come in, go and click the link click the link in the chat box and come and enter this PIN number 8184652. Okay, we'll start at 9:18 sharp. 9:18 sharp. Okay, so far any questions or not while we're waiting for the rest of the participants to all filter in?
Teacher Tin,
Yes.
where do we can get this recording after this? Do we can get this?
Where can we get this recording? Okay, now, can you go and speak to DCOM to Reskills? They, do we offer the recording, DCOM team? Otherwise, you can go and ask them for my email address. I will be very happy to go and share the slides with you.
Oh, okay, okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, you can go and watch it on FB Live. That's right. Or you can also go and get my email from them, and then I will be very happy to go and share the slides with you. Hi, Chick Balkis. I've met you before, right? Have I?
No.
No? Okay. Okay, now 1 more minute, then let's get started for this Kahoot. Everyone, please go and click this link and enter this PIN number. Okay, any questions before we move on? Are you guys familiar with Kahoot? Have you guys used Kahoot before?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so now yeah, you can rewatch it from FB. Some members in the have notified me that you can rewatch it on FB. Okay, cool. Now let's get started. Okay, Kahoot is a tool I love to use. Okay, it checks for understanding, and as a good leader, you always have to check for understanding. Okay, check for understanding. Okay, checking for understanding means you ensure that your team members know what you taught them. Okay, so now our team member made a huge mess in an Excel file. What do we say? Okay, rate is, you idiot, fix this. Okay, so you're telling them what to do, but not really. Okay, so now I taught you this a million times. Now sit down, tell me what happened. What's your plan to fix it? Green is going full Donald Trump, you're fired. Okay, so now what do we say to them in this situation? All right. Okay, come, 3 more people. Answer. How do we answer this? Oh, okay. Why? Why did 2 people answer blue and green? Okay, all right. Don't say you're fired. Okay, you're going to get into trouble with the employment court, with the industrial relations court. Okay, now I taught you this a million times. Oh, I do not know who taught you to say this, but I think you need to go and change your job, okay? Yes, okay, now sit down, tell me what happened. Always remember you're dealing with adults. Give them a chance to go and say they're part of the story. And then, as I've mentioned, most of the time, your team members will already have a plan to go and fix it already. Now, only if they truly don't know, then it is our job as team members, as team leaders, to go and guide them exactly what they have to do to go and make things better. All right, so now, Yvonne leading the charts, very good. Okay, now take a look at this. Our team member promised to fix the Excel file. What do you say? Okay, so now, red, we can give them a warning. Okay, this is the last time. Now blue, okay, thank you. Now yellow, you better do it fast, you idiot. Okay, or green, okay, show it to me on Thursday, 12 p.m. Okay, so I'm going to repeat, all right. Red is okay, this is the last time. Blue is okay, thank you. Okay, all right. Okay, now, okay, thank you is what semi-good leaders will say, but it is not quite good enough. Why? Because if you give them a clear deadline, Thursday, 12 p.m., then you are issuing an observable instruction. You can go and see whether they do it or not. Now, if you say, okay, thank you, they may not, they may take their time because there's a lot of ambiguity. There's a lot of space for interpretation. Okay, you better do it fast, you idiot. Okay, don't say this lah. Okay, all right. That's very nasty. All right, calling someone idiot is not helpful. Okay, it doesn't help anyone. It makes everyone feel more upset, more demotivated. Okay, so now our new 2-week-old client, just offended an important client. What do we say? Okay, so red is, again, sit down, tell me what happened, what is your plan? Okay, blue is giving an instruction, go cheer up the client now. All right, now yellow is call him now and apologize for what you did. Tell him how you'll fix it. Now green is, you moron, did you just come out from school? All right, okay, so now, I've seen this before. In the law firm where I started, I had a boss which really scolds people using green one. Always, did you just come out of school? Did you just come out from school? Do you know what you're doing? Okay, so now some bosses will also go and say, go cheer up the client now. All right, so now, okay, now you can't let a 2-week-old do this. You can't, because the 2-year-old doesn't know your company culture yet, doesn't know what to say and what to avoid. All right, like for example, okay, there might be certain taboo words, or maybe the company doesn't want to directly apologize. Okay, it is much better to go and let them grow from this. See whether they have a plan or not. Don't forget, they're only 2 weeks, so all right. Okay, so now next. Wow, nice answer streak. Okay, so now our team member promised to hand up his work by Thursday. It is now Friday, so what do we say to him? Okay, so now red is, where's my work? Right, blue is sit down, tell me what happened, hand it up today by 6 p.m. Yellow is, I tell you, this is the last time. The last one, very nasty, you should go skydiving without a parachute. Okay, you should go skydiving without a parachute. Okay, so now, where is my work? It's red. Blue is sit down, tell me what happened, hand it up by today 6 p.m. Yellow is, I tell you, this is the last time. Okay, all right. So most of you have gotten the gist of it. You should go skydiving without parachute. Very nasty. Okay, who answered it? Okay, I don't want you to be my boss. Wow, very scary. Okay, so now last question. Now, you realize your team member is purposely not handing up his work. So now this is an example of defiant behavior already. He knows that he's supposed to go and hand up his work, but he's purposely showing you who is boss. So what are we supposed to go and do here? He wants to go and know who's boss, so you're going to show him. Show him who's boss, scream in front of everyone. Now, sit down, listen to his story, then you go and tell your superior about it. All right, yellow, straight away issue him a warning letter. Green, complain to HR. So now what do you guys think? What should we do over here? So as you can see, this one is more of a subjective question. Let's see how we will handle this, and I'll go and give you my thoughts about it. Okay, so red is show him who is boss, scream in front of everyone. Blue is sit him down, listen to his story, and tell your superior about it. Yellow is issue a warning letter to the guy. Green is complain to HR because he's purposely not handing up his work. Okay, yes, okay. Now the mature thing to do is to go and sit down and listen to his story. But no matter what happens, because he's purposely not handing up his work, you better have a go and talk to HR, or I mean, not to HR, okay, to your superior about it. Why? Because you need to go and build your case. You need to build your case, all right? And you need to go and record down the times where he's clearly defiant, so that in the future, when you are forced to go and issue him a warning letter, this does not come as a shock to the superior. And while you're having this talk with him, you better also go and tell him that if this cannot continue, if you continue, I'm going to issue you a warning letter, or I'm going to complain to HR. Show him the yellow card, but don't straight away go to the red cards. All right, understand? Okay, I'm going to go and type it down because this is important, okay? All right, now, show him the yellow card. It's not correct, okay? To immediately show him the red card. Okay, everyone deserves a chance to go and talk to him, but you better go and tell your superior about it so that they know about it also. Okay, so that they know that you're handling it. Tell your superior, this is what's happening, I have a plan. Okay, all right, so now, who is number 3? Okay, MRX131, congratulations. Wei Chiat, well done. Number 1, I think, is Wen88, is it? Okay, well done, Wen88. Okay, good. All right, so now let's go back to the main slides. Okay, now These are some of the challenges you may face, but don't worry, we talked about them in the Kahoot already. Now, I still have half an hour, which is just enough time for me to go and tell you about the second very important skill, which will make an immediate impact to the people you are leading. This is one of the very essential things you have to do to become a good leader. And this is what most leaders do wrong. I would think that 95% of leaders do this wrongly. And that is praising people properly. Remember just now I go and drew you this very nice diagram. Okay, so now when people do things correctly, we have to go and give pengukuhan. We have to go and give reinforcement, right? Okay, so now two of the most important reinforcements is praising people and acknowledging them. Okay, so now we're talking about this one in particular. A lot of people do this one wrong, and it is very harmful. Don't simply praise your team members, okay? And we'll take a closer look at this now. Okay, so now praise properly is a vital skill to help us bring up skillful and disciplined team members. Why? Okay, you don't want your team members just to be robots, right? You want them to be skillful also. You want them to be able to react to the situation. You want them to be able to evolve and grow. But at the same time, you want them to be disciplined. You want them to show respect, not just to you, but to other people and around the company, and especially your customers and clients. So that's why they need to learn to be disciplined, and they need to know how to be skillful. But how do you do it? You have to go and praise them. Okay. However, most people do not praise their team members correctly. Now, how do we go and praise them correctly? We need to know that there's a huge difference between acknowledgement and praise. Now, secondly, do we praise people in public or do we praise them in private? This is probably a skill which most leaders ask me. Should we go and praise other people in public or private? Now, thirdly, you praise only choices or actions. Okay, do not go and praise their traits. Do not go and praise their talents. And finally, okay, your praise, whatever it must be sincere and honest. Remember what I said about white lies? Don't tell white lies. Don't. If they suck, then you go and tell them that, look, there's room for improvement. You can do it. I know you can do it. I will guide you. But don't go and say that, wow, you're wonderful. Wow, you're the best. No. Okay, they know it, they know it when you're telling them white lies. Okay, so now I'm not going to go through all of this, but essentially, okay, what people have researched is that positive reinforcement, that means giving people praise or reinforcement or gula, or for Yenli's case, she wants ice cream, is much more effective than giving them punishment or criticism. Okay, now I don't really like this word punishment, but the psychologists love it, okay? They get very excited when they talk about punishment, so I'm going to use their own words, okay? All right, now, essentially, we should go and give people more positive reinforcement as compared to criticism. Now, here's the problem, okay? Here's the problem. Now, coming back here, the problem is our team members do not always do the correct thing. Most of the time, when leadership is needed is when something bad has happened, isn't it? Because if everything is going swimmingly well, they won't need to come to you. So now, here's the thing. When they do something right, make sure you milk it. Make sure you go and give them that positive reinforcement so that they continue to go and do the correct thing. Okay? All right, I'm going to repeat because this is important. It's not every day people do the correct thing in the office. So when they do the correct thing, make sure you give them positive reinforcement so that they continue to do it in the future. All right. Okay, so now let's go back to this very important slide. Okay, so now the problem is when we go and praise our team members or when we acknowledge them wrongly, this praise or acknowledgement will backfire. They will feel bad. They will. Okay, so now, first things which very important, I hope that you take this away, is that there's a huge difference between acknowledgement and praise. There's a very big difference between acknowledgement and praise. Now, we give acknowledgement when team members meet our expectations. So now what does this mean now, okay? So let's say, okay, this over here, this line is what they're supposed to do. Now, if their performance is up to here, that means they are meeting what they're supposed to do. Then we cannot praise them. We can only give them what is called acknowledgement. Okay, acknowledgement or recognition. Now, we only praise people when their effort or when their results has exceeded expectation. Then over here, yes, we can go and praise them, and we should praise them. Okay, so now over here, we cannot praise them. We can only acknowledge. Hey, is that how to go and spell acknowledge? Let's see. Ledge. Okay. All right, so now when they have reached expectations, baru meet your expectations are the standards of the company. Don't go around praising them. Wow, you're the best. Wow, you're the champion. Wow, you are the king. No, don't. Okay, just go and say, just acknowledge them. However, if they've exceeded expectations, then you must praise them. Remember what I said, when people are doing something right, you need to go and you need to do everything you can to go and make sure that they'll repeat it in the future. Okay. So now, moving on. Now, to acknowledge, here's what we do. We have to, I'm going to clear the screen here. Okay, so now to acknowledge, what we have to do, we have to go and state what the team member has done, the action you want him to repeat again, then thank him with positivity, but without value judgment or exaggeration. Okay, so now, and a very good example of acknowledgement would be this. Hey, I didn't go and put down an example, so I'm going to write down one now, okay? Ivan, thank you for handing up your valuation report on time. Okay, all right. Ivan, thank you for handing up your valuation report on time. So now let's take a look at this example. Handing up your valuation report on time, is it something which is above expectations, or it is memang only up to expectations? It is only up to expectations, right? So you cannot go and say, well, Ivan, you're the champion for handing up your valuation report on time. Well, Ivan, you're the best ever employee for handing up your valuation report on time. You can't. That is called praise already. So just keep it short and simple. Say thank you. Okay. All right. So now, when do we praise people? We praise people when they have exceeded expectations or when they put in a lot of effort because we want them to go and repeat it. Okay. So now we can make our acknowledgement exciting and energetic. We can go and say, Ivan, thank you for keeping your workstation tidy today. You are organized. All right. So over here, it is very important for us to go and include what we want them to repeat. So remember, okay, remember, look at this again. Okay, now, what is the main reason we give reinforcement? Is it to go and make our team members feel good? No, it is not to make our team members feel good. Is it for them to go and like us? Wow, this boss is very nice. He always going to praise me. He always acknowledge me. No, it is not for them to like us. Is it for them to, wow, I want to build a good relationship with my team members? No, it is not. The main purpose of reinforcement is for them to repeat the behaviors we want them to repeat. And that's why, okay, you have to go and very clearly state what is the thing you want them to do again. And over here, you have stated, thank you for keeping your workstation tidy today. Okay, so now, if there's one thing you take away from today's session, you need to know what's the difference between acknowledgement and praise. Because if you keep on praising your team members, they are going to get immune to it. Number one, they're going to get immune to it. Number two, they will feel bad because they know that they don't deserve such strong praise. Or number three, okay, as Asians, somehow we feel like we don't deserve such praise and we are uncomfortable when receiving it. Okay? All right. Okay, so now next, praise, public versus private. Okay, so now should we praise our employees or should we praise our team members in public? Now, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Should we praise our team members in public? Okay, so now some people say private, some people say public. Now, generally speaking, okay, generally speaking, whether it is you are dealing with children or whether you are dealing with adults, whether you're dealing, as long as you are leading people in a group. Okay, generally speaking, here is the golden rule. Okay, praise loudly, criticize quietly. Praise loudly, criticize quietly. Now, why? Okay, it is because when you are praising, okay, now if you do acknowledgement and praising correctly, if you choose the correct one, it motivates other team members to improve. Okay, it motivates other team members to improve. But imagine this, okay? Imagine this scenario. Let's say Ivan has done something which is just up to mark only. Okay, that means he's doing something which he's supposed to do. If you go around praising him in public, wow, Ivan, you handed up your work on time, you are the champion, you are the best, you are the leader, you are the king. What will the other team members feel? The other team members will go and feel that, hey, I do that also. What's the big deal here? Why don't you praise me? Why are you just praising Ivan? So that's why it is extremely important for you to know the difference between acknowledgement and praise. Now, if Ivan has handed up his valuation report on time and you go and acknowledge him in public, you go and tell him in public, thank you, Ivan, for handing up your acknowledgement report on time. Keep this up. So no one is going to feel bad. No one is going to feel angry, right? No one is going to feel like, oh, I did that too. Why don't you say I'm very powerful? Okay. All right. So now there's a huge difference. But generally speaking, if you are choosing the correct one, make sure you do it publicly if you can. Now, when do you praise privately? There are situations where you praise privately. Okay. Now, if a team member is not expecting it, then if you go and whisper to him, well done, I saw what you did. You made the client very happy. Keep this up. Then it will have a long-lasting and deep impact on the team member. But again, I never use this. Personally, I don't use this. Personally, I feel that praise and acknowledgement should be done publicly, and I do it whenever I can. But you need to be very careful to choose the correct one. I'm going to emphasize again. All right, because if you're praising someone in public for the wrong reasons, then the other team members will feel disgruntled. They'll feel unhappy. Okay, so now should we criticize team members publicly? As you can see from this golden rule, my answer is no. Okay, now first things first, okay, it is perfectly possible to go and criticize a team member without being negative. For example, okay, you can go and say, Ivan, okay, Ivan, it is not correct for us to shout at the client. Okay, it is not correct for us to shout at the client. Please call him now to apologize. Now, take a look at this. Now, language is super duper important in the workplace. Now, look here. I didn't say, Ivan, you are wrong for shouting at the client. Or I didn't go and say, Ivan, you are horrible. Or I didn't say, Ivan, how could you shout at the client? Okay, I don't. I use this very special word, and this special word is us. It is not correct for us to shout at the client. Now, this word, don't underestimate it. This word tells Ivan that I am on his side. I am learning also. It's not just wrong for you to shout at the client. It is also wrong for me to shout at the client. We are learning together. I am leading you by example. Okay, so now please call him now to apologize. And if you want to go one step further, you can also say, I will join in on the call. Also can, if you want to go and lead by example. So now I think that these are very important. Please go and take a screenshot of this if this helps you. Otherwise, I'm going to move on. Okay, now I'm going to clear the screen, yeah? Yell at me if you need to go and get those words back. Now, to me, okay, private corrections allow team members to self-correct. And let me tell you guys, the best form of correction in the workplace or whenever you're a leader is letting your team self-correct. This is the best way. This is the best possible way for people to be corrected, self-correction. You tell them, okay, what you did is not correct. You do it in private. Then you go and tell them, here's what you can do to go and fix the mistake. Go and keep up and next time, try your best to remember. And then they'll go and do it. Then they'll go and self-correct. Self-correct means they will go and take the steps they need to go and do to go and fix the mistake by themselves. Now, if you go and shout at them, then you do not give them any room to go and self-correct because they are very malu. They have been publicly humiliated. Then very likely they won't cooperate. Or you lose a lot of the trust. You go and destroy a lot of the good relationship. So give them some room to go and self-correct. Okay? Self-correction is the best correction. Cannot emphasize anymore. Okay, so now, this one very important as my, okay, so now I'll tell you guys a mini story, okay? So I have a celebrity friend. Her name is Nana Mahazan. Some of you may have heard of her before. Nana Mahazan. Now, Nana Mahazan is huge, okay? She has 600,000 followers on Instagram. And she was in the first Academy Fantasia, but she didn't win. However, out of all the people in Academy Fantasia, all of them are no longer relevant today, except for maybe Nana Mahazan. So she keeps reinventing herself, she keeps developing herself, and she keeps on being relevant to the media and to the industry. So now, she told me once, Teacher Ken, you know what I hate? I hate it when people say that, ooh, Nana, you're so talented. And she tells me, no, my talent did not play any part in getting to where I am today. Zero. Zero. There are tons of talented people out there who are not where I am today. And there are tons of people who are more talented than me, which have failed to make it. On the other hand, there are tons of people who are less talented than me, who are making far more money than me, who are building far greater things than me. So she hates it when people praise her for her traits. So what are traits? Traits are things we are born with. So now, in the future, when you guys become young leaders, or even now, when you're becoming a young leader, when you're on your way to become a young leader, when you praise other people, do not praise them for things they are born with. Praise them for only things that they can choose to do. Sebagai contoh, okay, a team member can't choose to be smart, right? They can't choose to be smart, because smart is either you're born with or you're not born with. Some people just have higher IQ than others. All right, some people are just born less talented than others, but team members can choose to work hard or finish all their tasks on time. These are the things which are worth praising. Now, this is something which we're not supposed to praise them for. Now, why is this so important? Why must we only go and choose people? Why must we only praise people for behaviors, for choices? Okay, remember, the point of reinforcement is so that our team members can repeat those positive behaviors or actions. If we go and praise them, wow, you're so talented. Can they repeat talented? Can they repeat being smart? Cannot. They can't. They can't repeat something which is out of their control. They also know that the parents gave it to them. It is not something they chose. It is not a decision they made. So now, what happens if we go and praise our team members as smart? What happens is they'll take fewer risks. They take fewer risks. Why? Okay, now people are very special. Now, when people have developed a reputation for being smart, okay, they will do anything to protect that belief. You think of the auntie in your workplace. If that auntie already has a reputation for being very good at, let's say, fouling, they will do anything to protect that reputation. If you ask them to go and do something which is new, right, will they do or not? No, they won't. Why? Because they are already in their comfort zone. They already have a reputation for being good at something already. They don't want to risk their reputation by trying new things. And so, one surefire way to go and get people very comfortable in their comfort zones is to praise them for things which are outside their control. So I'm going to take 1 minute to go and tell you a very true story. Now, when I was in education, when I was a teacher, when I opened a tuition center a few years ago, I think 5 years ago, this was when we were very new. We were all new teachers. Now, my tuition center, there came a little boy who was a genius. This guy is genius level math, he's like seriously genius level. He's like at 12 years old, he's already doing calculus and differentiation already. But he had a problem. Okay, people always said that he was smart, and he doesn't want to go and do the workings. He doesn't want to do the 酸草. In Chinese, we call it 酸草. And so we tell him, hey, no, you have to go and do workings. Otherwise, we can't give you full marks. And he says that, why should I go and give you the workings? Because I got the correct answer already. I did it all inside my head already. I did the calculations in my head already. I just write down the answer. And so because we were noob teachers, right? Back then we were very lousy teachers. We don't really know how to answer him. And so we let him go ahead and go and do all the write down the answer directly without giving us the calculations. So now, true enough, when he went on to progress in his work, he started failing in his math. Why did he start failing in his math? Because he would leave a lot of the questions blank. He would leave a lot of the questions blank. He had this mentality. He developed this very dangerous mentality. If I do not try, then I can't fail. Or if I do not try, then you can't say I failed. I have failed. So he purposely go and leave everything blank so that he has an out, you see. He can always go and say, I didn't fail. It's just that I choose not to do it. It might not fail. It's I choose, I don't want to do it. It's my choice. So you see, this is why, okay? When he didn't do his workings, and since a young age, when you grow older and older, math becomes harder and you need to go and write down your calculations to go and help you reach the answer. But he doesn't want to. So then he develops this very dangerous thinking. I have a belief, I have a reputation that I'm smart. But now there's a chance that I will fail. But never mind lah. If I don't try, then I won't fail. You can't say I failed. So be very careful, okay? Only reinforce choices or actions, never reinforce traits. Okay? All right, any questions so far before I move on? Okay, come, let's go. Okay, so now, very important. Remember what I said about white lies? Be sincere and honest when praising. Why? Because people learn to listen for and disregard insincere praise. This is so-called a white lies. When your team member comes to you and say, okay, Yen Li, did I do a good job? Manager Yen, did I do a good job? Or President Yen, did I do a good job? If they sucks, then you please don't go and say that, yes, you're the best. Yes, you did well. Yes, you're very good. Please don't. Okay? Now, if you say that, eventually, over time, they will think that your work is inferior and that you're giving them a consolation prize sahaja, participation award sahaja. Okay, now it is very okay to reinforce by saying that, okay, you did your work well and the client is happy. Thank you, Ivan. But only say these things if they really did it. If you start giving white lies, it's very soon, okay, they will interpret cheap praise as a marker of failure. They will go and think that, wow, my work is so bad that Teacher Kian has to purposely praise me. Okay, so please be sincere and honest when you're praising people around you. Now, at the start of this session, a lot of you, well, not a lot of you, some of you have asked me, how do I gain confidence in the workplace? Start here. Start here. Okay, you build confidence by starting to acknowledge the good things people do around you. The best place to start gaining confidence as a leader is by acknowledging the good things your colleagues or team members have done. And from here, you will realize what type of a leader are you. Okay, you will realize what type of a leader are you. But very importantly, make sure that you are honest while doing this. Different leaders have different styles. However, everything I'm teaching you here works for every style. Whether you are a leader which is silent and leads by example, you still need to be sincere and honest while praising. If you're a very forceful leader, if you're a very energetic leader, wow, 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 let's go, let's go, let's go, and type of leader, you still have to be sincere and honest with your praise, and you still have to be firm, and you still have to go and issue good what to do instructions instead of complaining. Okay? All right. Now let's move on. Okay, now going to repeat. If you are a new leader, if you do not know where to start to gain confidence, start by acknowledging the good things your colleagues or team members have done. Then from there, you will see what type of leader you are. Then you can go and refine it. Okay, so now let's do this quick exercise. Then we'll end with a Kahoot. So now let's see at these scenarios and see what is appropriate. Now your team member is always late today. He came in on time. So now do we acknowledge or praise here? What do you guys think? On time, huh? What do you guys think? Now over here, okay, coming in on time is not something special. It is something which he should do. In this situation, you should only acknowledge. All right, now how would I acknowledge this? I would say, yes, correct. Thank you, Jia Chuan. All right, I would only acknowledge. The way I would say it is, thank you, Ivan. Remember, acknowledgement is thanking someone and stating what he has done, okay? Thank you, Ivan, for being punctual. Okay, keep this up. And you can do it publicly and no one will be upset. Because if you say, wow, Ivan, you are the best for being here on time. Wow, Ivan, you are great for being here on time. So two things will happen. Number one, he is going to feel that you're sarcastic. All right, he's going to feel that you are insincere. Number two, all the other team members will be like, hey, come on, what's the big deal about him being punctual? I'm punctual every day. Why don't you go and praise me? Okay, now you guys are starting to go and understand what's the difference between acknowledgement and praise. Okay, so now next, your team member made your client happy. Your client called you to go and praise him. Okay, so now over here, should we acknowledge or praise? Okay, so now this one is a bit subjective. Okay, you can acknowledge if he's very senior. But you should praise if he's very new. Okay, now, why do I say this? Okay, now, because it is really part of their job to make the clients happy. It is not going above and beyond. Okay, it is not really going above and beyond. Your clients are supposed to go and call you to go and tell you good job. However, if your team member is like super new, and the fact that you can go and make clients happy, the fact that the client go and call you to go and praise him, I think that this is worthy of praise, okay? So now let's take a look of how I will go and praise this person. I will go and say, okay, Ivan, a job well done. You can be very proud of yourself for making the client so happy. Okay, now keep this up. Okay, so now here's another thing which I didn't go into depth today, but okay, you should avoid words like, I am very disappointed in you, or I am very proud of you. Now, I'm not going to go in very deep here, but essentially when you go and say these things, okay, then you are training your people to make you happy instead of doing their jobs. And this is very harmful to a company. All right, now the main reason why people do things well in your company is because they're supposed to do their jobs, not to go and make teacher Ken happy. Okay, but you can go and say something that you can be very proud of yourself. So they take pride in their work. Okay, understand? All right, so now next. Oops, sorry. Okay, your team member threw a tantrum and shouted at another team member. So now over here, we do not acknowledge, we do not praise, we have to go and criticize already. Okay, this is definitely a criticize. And what do we say? Okay, here's how I say it. You guys maybe can go and learn a bit. Okay, we can go and say, Ivan, it is not correct for us to raise our voices in the office. There are better ways to share your thoughts. Please apologize to Eric now. All right, and so this is how I would say it. So over here, we are making this language very universal. I'm saying us. Okay, I'm not saying you are wrong. There are better way to share your thoughts. Please apologize to Eric now. I'm telling him what to do. Okay. All right. So now we still have 5 more minutes, just enough time for us to go and do one last Kahoot for me to go and check whether or not you guys have learned everything properly today. So now quickly take a screenshot because over here I've given you many gems, many things which I unfortunately I don't have the time to go and teach today. Quickly take a screenshot and then let's go and do one final Kahoot and then you guys can go and ask me your questions. Just in time. Very good. Okay, excellent. Good. Okay, so now Kahoot time. Okay, so now go to kahoot.it. Ivan disqualified to join Kahoot. Why is Ivan? Yes, he is. Okay, all right. So now you all can go and join the Kahoot here. Sorry, not the. This is the wrong one. Oops. Don't enter that pin number. I need to go and generate a pin number first. Yes, does anyone have a question while we're waiting for people to come into the room? Okay, so now the new game pin is drumroll. Bit slow over here. I think. Oh no, it is because I think you share a name. You share a name with the person which I mentioned in my slides. Okay, now 219-9850. 2 minutes. Hurry, get in if you're interested to go and join this Kahoot. 9:59. I am going to check for understanding. Okay, to make sure that you guys understand what I taught you. Okay, so now again, checking for understanding. Checking for understanding is a very important thing for you to go and do for your future team members. If you're ever in a leadership role, you must check for understanding. And that's what I'm doing here, okay? I'm checking for understanding by letting you guys do an exercise or asking you guys questions. Okay, 2 more minutes. Hurry, hurry. Whoever is interested, you can come in and go and join us. 219-9850. I hope that you can join us. Remember, okay, be a good leader, check for understanding. Make sure that your kids know what you taught them. Okay, Miss Mugi, yep, you can go and join from the link here. Okay, so now while we are waiting here, does anyone have any questions? So today I don't have the most time, I only have 2 hours, but I hope that I taught you 2 skills which are very, very important. And if you start practicing them, you will see an immediate impact in the quality of your leadership. All right. You will see an immediate quality. You will see your people starting to become more motivated because you're acknowledging them, you're praising them, you're giving them recognition. And at the same time, things will get done in the office. You will be a good leader because you're telling them what you want them to do instead of complaining about what they did wrong. Okay, so now come, let's start. Okay, we'll finish off with this Kahoot and I'll check for understanding. So DCOM, praise properly. All right, so now we start off with a quiz. Now, why do we praise people? Why do we praise our children, or why do we go and praise our team members? Is it to go and make them happy? Or what are we trying to do here? So now red is we're trying to make them feel good. Now blue is we are trying to reinforce good actions or choices. Now yellow is we try to make them like us, or green is we are trying to go and improve our relationship with them. Now what is the primary reasons? Okay. Now all of these are good reasons actually. All of these are good reasons, but what's the primary reason here? Okay, now if you still want to join, you can. It is 219-9850. Okay, no, it is not to improve our relationship. It's not to make them feel good. Remember, okay, we are here to go and reinforce good actions. The reason we go and praise them or acknowledge them is so that they repeat the good actions which we want them to repeat in the future. Okay, all right, come, let's take a look at this. Now, why do we correct, or like the psychologists say, why do we go and punish people? Look at Spider-Man, for goodness sake, stop scolding me. Okay, all right, so now red is to stop them from repeating a bad choice or behavior. Now blue is to go and show them who's boss. Yellow is so that the other team members can learn from his mistakes, or green is so that he can learn to be better in the future. Now, this is very dangerous, so he can learn to be better in the future. All right, so now what's the primary reason? What's the main reason? Come on, quickly. Okay, so now let me go and talk a bit about this. Now, we don't really want people to learn to be better in the future. That's not the real reason. Now, employees are very smart, okay? They don't become better. They just hide things from you better. They hide things from you better. Okay? So no, it is not so that they learn to be better in the future. It is so that they stop the bad choices or behaviors they have done in the past. Okay, remember, look at this. Okay, over here, the primary reason why we want people to go and the primary reason why we correct or punish someone is to stop them from doing a bad action. Okay, so that they don't repeat it, not so that they become better. Right? If your goal of punishment is so that they become better, they won't. Okay, they'll just hide it from you better. So next time, right, they never finish their work. They learn to go and somebody, they won't tell you. Okay. Okay, so now next, our team member finish all his works and want to leave on time. Okay, finish all the work already. So now, right, stop him from leaving. Why? Because other people will be angry if he leaves on time. Now, do we praise him or do we acknowledge him or do we praise him in front of everyone else? So what do we do over here? Okay, so rate, stop him from leaving because other team members will be angry if he leaves on time. Now, do we praise him? Do we acknowledge him? Do we praise him in front of everyone else? Okay, what do you guys think? Okay, so now over here, right, okay, so most of you got it correctly. Yes, and I'm very pleased with this answer. This means that all of you have been listening very closely. Now, finishing his work is something he's memang supposed to do. He's memang supposed to go and finish his work. And if he leaves on time, that is also something which he deserves because he has finished all his work already. So just acknowledge him, go and say, thank you for finishing all your work on time. I'll see you here at 9 a.m. tomorrow, and that's good enough already. Okay, don't need to go and say, wow, you're the best, wow, you're the strongest. Tidak payah. Okay, so now let's take a look at this. Okay, this one, there can be more than one correct answer. So now our team member yells at us in public. So now how should we respond to this? Do we respond to him calmly in private? Do we respond to him calmly in public? Do we acknowledge his points in public? Do we go and say, okay, yes, I see your point, I see your point? Or do we praise him in public? Wow, very good for scolding me. Okay, so now what do we choose over here? Okay, Winston. Okay, so now think about it. You can choose more than one answer if you think that there can be more than one answer. Okay, so now over here, I have given two possible answers. Okay, definitely you shouldn't acknowledge his points in public. Why? Because first of all, you have to go and fix a mistake. So now, he yells at you. It is not the correct time to go and say, yeah, I see your points. Yes, you are correct also. No. All right, now that will have the effect of illustrating or demonstrating that you are a weak leader, and very soon the defiance will continue. He will continue to yell at you at public because he knows that there's no consequences. Now, there are two things you can do here. It depends on what is he yelling at you for. Now, if he's yelling at you in front of a lot of team members, then you can show strength by responding to him calmly in public by saying that, now, let's all lower our voices. We can talk about this like gentlemen, okay? Let's all lower our voices. We can talk about this like gentlemen. Now, another possible way, which is this one over here in red, you can go and say, now, come talk to me when you are feeling better. Then you go and tell him it was not correct for you to go and yell at me. I think that you should apologize to me. Okay, so these are two of the different ways you can go and handle this. All right, good. Now next. Wow, Cham, you are on a streak. Very good. Okay, so now after working for you the whole night, your team member came up with a solution to a huge problem. Now, what do we say to him? Next time, think faster. Why do you think the whole night to go and think of an answer? Next time, think faster. Or we can go and say, thank you, you are very smart. We can go and say, well done, thank you for working so hard. This is yellow. Or we can say, wow, you are the most talented team member. Thanks. Okay, what do you guys think? Ah, yes, okay, so very good. Okay, so now over here, well done is praising. Now, thank you for working so hard. We are telling him what we would like him to repeat in the future. Okay, very good. So all of you have absorbed the lesson very well. So now we have one last question and then I will say good night to all of you. Okay, our team member worked very hard, but he still failed to get the client. Now, what do we say to him? Do we say that you're fired, you're useless? Thank you for working hard. There will be another client. Don't give up. This is blue. Now, yellow is you are the best. You are awesome. Or green, we can go and say you're really clever. You'll get the client the next time. So now, everyone's management style is different. Everyone's leadership skill is different. Everyone's leadership style is different. But there are certain universal truths, okay? We shouldn't tell white lies. We shouldn't give them insincere praise. We can acknowledge your work. So which one should we choose? All right, by the way, okay, so please give your feedback to the team, all right, if you think that I can improve, or if you had an awesome evening, if you learned a lot of things, and if you would like to go and see me more in the future, please let the DCOM team know, and then we'll go and arrange some awesome topics for you guys to learn next time. Okay? All right, please give your feedback to the DCOM team. If you have any testimonials, if you need anything, okay, let the DCOM team know. Okay, so now, very good, okay? Now, thank you for working hard. There'll be another client. Don't give up. Now, over here, this one, I have offense with clever. Clever is something they can't control, yeah? This is a trait, not a choice or behavior. So now, I would be very careful when I go and call someone clever. I would be very careful. Okay, but the majority of you got the correct answer. Very good. It seems to me that you all have learned today's lessons very well. Now, I hope that you all will go and carry these lessons with you for life. It will make your job as a leader much sweeter and much happier, and people around you will be very motivated also. Okay, so now, well done, JX Cham. Okay, and Yuan, well done. Okay, this was a very good session. I enjoyed myself immensely. I'm going to pass the session back to the team. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, please send them to the team. If you have any testimonials, go ahead and go and tell the team your feedback and what I did correctly, what I did wrongly. Okay, thanks guys.
Hi, thank you very much, Teacher Ken. Wonderful sharing, wonderful learning, wonderful knowledge has been shared to every single person in this room, including myself. Teacher Ken, wonderful job, and also Ivan. Ivan, we're gonna have a one-to-one talk tomorrow for this. You started off pretty bad in the working organization, but in the end, teacher can praise you a lot, so you have improvised. So for better understanding, Ivan is one of our CTO in the Reskill platform, Chief Technology Officer. So I don't know whether the same person teacher Ken is referring to. Just joking, just kidding. Right, dear members, non-members, dear Reskill participants, I hope that you have enjoyed today's session. So do I as well. So before we do the closing, there's little things that I will need to emphasize on, so that both of us in the benefit side as well. I need a favor from you. I need a favor from every single person in this room, including myself. Kindly log into our Facebook page or Reskill Instagram. The link has been sent to your chat box. You can copy, screenshot, or later on you can check it out. Go to our Facebook page, Reskill Instagram as well. Like our page. Why I said so is, once you like our page, you will get an instant notification from us in whatever we are doing, which means you are the first person to know is there any live going on, is there anything going on, reskill, you will be notified at the beginning itself. Doing it now, fantastic, Cam, thank you very much. So if you want, you can take a screenshot. Later on, you can revisit the particular page, or else look for reskill in Facebook page or reskills in Instagram as well. So let me move on. Okay, this part is much more important. That I need everyone to participate in this part. Everyone, including myself as well. Let me look for the particular link. Okay. All right. So every single person, kindly take out your mobile phone, scan the particular QR code. Scan the particular QR code. It's a feedback form whereby to improvise our teaching skills and also to improvise the topics that we are trying to deliver to you as well. So what I meant by here is, for example, that you are looking for a particular topic. You are looking for a particular topic that you want it to be on board. So what we do is we will cater the particular topic to be on board ASAP. Got me right? Yes. Which means the topic that you wanted to be on board, we will cater it to you in an ASAP manner. Does this sound fair? Definitely it is fair. Definitely this is fantastic platform that what you want it to be, it will be in this particular platform as well. So that's how powerful we are. That's how Changyam Mange we are in this particular platform. So we are two-way interactive. Okay? It's not one way. It's not that I show, you listen. It's going to be the other way that you tell me, I will provide a particular learning for you as well. So that's the reason it's very important for you to scan this QR code and let us know what the topic you're interested in and give us some feedback on Teacher Ken as well, and also our Reskill platform as well. And those who want to know more about our Reskill platform, what do we do actually? What kind of 365 days program that you guys provide and so on? Then you may tick, I want to know more about 365 days platform. Then you'll be redirected to the next day on our Reskill preview. So in Reskill preview, we'll explain to you more in depth what do we provide. What do we provide and what else we have in the Reskill platform, i.e. like the subscription fee. What is the promotion? January, we have a wonderful promotion. End of the day, you don't pay anything, but you gain something from our subscription. Can you imagine? You join in the platform absolutely free, and then you gain the monetary value as well. Isn't it powerful? That's how powerful is our January promotion. I don't want to break the surprise here, but I want you to join our business. Sorry, I want you to join our Reskill preview to understand more in depth as well. Yes, Cham, it's a very wonderful promotion. Hope you can join our business, our Reskill preview to understand more in depth. So I would like to open up the session again for our participants for a Q&A session. So kindly throw in the questions to Teacher Ken. Teacher Ken will be ready to answer you in regards to the particular topic for today. Reskill Revolution Preview. Yes, exactly, Dr. Exactly, Chan. It's Reskill's Revolution Preview. Right? It's happening on the daily basis, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, in English or in Mandarin as well. Choose the date, choose the timing as well. Or if you want a private session or you want someone to call you and explain to you over the phone, we can do that for you. That's how good our customer service, that's how good our care line that we can take it one-to-one with you to explain further in depth about whatever we are providing for our subscription for 1 year subscription. Right? Any question, ladies and gentlemen? Ada sebarang soalan?
Okay, so now Now, a member of the audience, he directly messaged me, so I do not know whether or not he wants to have his identity known. But a member of the audience asked me, "Hi, Teacher Ken, would like to ask your personal opinion. How far should we guide our team members as to avoid making them depend on us? For example, your case study of Dato and Tan Sri." Okay, so now it depends on expectations. All right, now let's say, okay, it's all about reasonable expectations. If he is in a highly frontliner role, okay, that means his job is to go out and go and get business. His job is to go out and go and meet people. Then obviously he needs to learn all this really, really quickly. It is an expectation that he knows how to go and call people by the correct title before meeting them, right? So now you can go and scold him once, but if it keeps happening, then you need to issue a consequence already. You need to stop him from repeating that behavior. And people won't remember if you just threaten and threaten and threaten and complain. They won't remember. You have to issue a consequence or a punishment. Something like demotion or extra work or change to another department. Those are the more severe ones. But most of these, if you have tried scolding already and doesn't work, then yeah, you have to do something more drastic. Otherwise, he will continue it. So yeah, it really depends on the department and the expectation. If it is a back office one and he's very messy with his Excel files, he's very messy with his filing, then that's also an expectation. Then maybe in 3 months' time, you can expect that he needs to have a certain level of competency already. So you shouldn't you shouldn't let him rely on you so much. I'm not sure if that answered your question or not. Did that answer your question? Okay, all right. Okay. Just remember, it is all about expectations and whether or not they exceed the expectation or fail to meet the expectation. Don't let them rely too much on you when they are already at an age where they can go and where they should be able to meet expectations. Any more than that, then you have to start giving consequences so they stop the bad behavior. Okay, so now, any more questions?
Okay, fantastic. Looks like no question from the audience, from the participants as well. So I just want to give you a heads up that there will be another program going on Bahasa Isyarat, sign language. So those who are interested to join the particular program, go into our Facebook page. You may look for a particular topic, click for interest or click for PM. We will guide you on the registration part as well. Or you may log into our DCOM website and look for events. Then you may find a particular program and you may sign up for it as well. So bear in mind that not all the programs are free for non-members. Definitely all programs are exclusive for members, but some of the programs we are open for non-members as well. So today is the month where all the programs are open for public also. So grab the opportunity, don't miss it. At the same time, be our exclusive member as well. Why? Because there's lots of privilege given to you when you become our member as well. So it's more than 10 p.m. today. I hope that everyone have learned a very good lesson today. The new young leader have reformed today as well, or born today as well. It's created by Teacher Ken. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Teacher Ken, for wonderful sharing. With that, my name is Jagan. I'm the Reskill e-learning buddy, your buddy. That we're going to cater the e-learning to everyone and by changing the way of learning. Reskill is your buddy. So with that, thank you very much. Stay safe, stay healthy. See you soon. Bye.
Okay, good night, everyone.